I'm sure you did.
Is there any place that people could get COVID tests? Because here they cost $25.
We actually did just get a shipment.
Okay,
We put out a social media notice. People have been coming in off the street and getting them for about a week and a half now.
great.
We're hoping to still have some left over to provide at our clinic that we do every year at the Elks drive-through clinic. Where I was just gonna update the board on that, which I won't in a minute. So yes, come into the health department. We've got kits.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And mail
They
it to the
ex-
federal government again as
They
well.
expire in November though, so we're encouraging people not to get like take like a whole bunch of boxes if you're not gonna use them, because they will expire, so.
Yeah.
Yes,
And you-
please do come in and get them.
Yeah, and there's
Nice.
4 free kits.
There's 2 in each box.
No, from the federal government, they're gonna make the testing kits available again. I
Yes,
think 4.
4
can't
per
remember.
family or something.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Good.
So. Just for information.
Mhm. Yep. So that was one of my updates, that we do have kits available for COVID testing. Our samples for public beach sampling all were so far so good with this season. This is our last week of sampling.
Mhm.
Yesterday was our last, so no beach closures,
Yay.
hopefully. We will get a result tomorrow. The Food for Kids program has been a glowing success. The last day of the program is tomorrow, which ran through the whole summer. Included food lunch deliveries to like camps. Eastham Rec got it as part of their camp program. And we also got deliveries of lunch to our community fridge. So a glowing success. We have scheduled our town flu clinic, flu and COVID clinic for October 23rd. It will be again at the Elks space. It will be drive-through again. And we will be using it as part of our emergency management drill like we do every year. So we'll be conducting all of the process of that emergency management planning and drills, which we're required to do for the state. So,
Question,
yes,
is VNA going to supply nurses for,
yep, we work with the VNA. They provide the vaccine and the nursing staff.
which hopefully they won't be on strike.
It's October 23rd, so
Hopefully they'll have settled.
hopefully. That is a valid point. Hillary wanted me to update you guys that the community needs assessment was completed by her intern from the Department of Public Health. So at some point we'll get you guys that information. It was really very well done. Hillary and I are also conducting through the Health Excellence Grant, all of our food safety courses that we have to get updated on, and our housing courses that we had to get updated on. We're both done with housing and we're still completing the food safety part of it, all microbiology stuff now. It's very, very fun. If we could make maybe at the end of the meeting, a confirmation time for your cesspool forum that's coming up on October 10th. Is when I have the whole space booked for October 10th, but the letters will be going out to the property owners that have cesspools beginning of next week. So if we could discuss that at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
That's all I have right now for you.
A question,
Mhm.
triple E and mosquito diseases.
The
Yes.
the latest update has been on West Nile virus,
Okay,
triple E,
nothing here.
not that from my most recent look at my email.
Okay, okay,
I think it was in Worcester that they.
Triple
found.
E, yes.
Yeah.
West Nile virus is quite closer.
okay.
Sam, do you have any updates?
I think you covered everything.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay,
Um, just to update you guys, Stephanie Sequin, who's representing 10 Nickerson Road, just let us know that she's gonna be running late. She's stuck in traffic. So
Oh,
did you want to
Vaughn?
wait till she gets here?
No,
well,
we'll put her, which one is she?
the
She-
first.
She's the variant.
Oh, she's
Nickerson Road.
10
variance.
Nickerson.
Okay, so should we move on to the,
Luther's Lane,
yeah,
we can do
Yeah.
that.
Yep, I
One-
believe 10 Luther, I'm sorry, 135 Luther's Lane is being represented by Laura Schofield, and she's right up here on our screen.
Hey, Laura,
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm here remotely because I got stuck in that traffic too, so I decided I better turn around and get back to
Yeah.
my computer. So,
Mhm.
anyway, I'm presenting this project for Tim Brady, who's out of town. But the applicants here are Jeffrey and Ellen Handel. The existing 3-bedroom home at this address is going to be raised and replaced with a new 3-bedroom dwelling. And the septic system is being upgraded in conjunction with the project. There's no increase in design flow. It's just they're just replacing the number of bedrooms that they have now. The property is 20,250 square feet. And in connection with this septic system upgrade, an Advantex AX20 is proposed to provide denitrification. There's no variances being requested, so this project is here for the board's review. And since the original submittal, the soil test data has been added to the design plan, and I think the health department got those revised plans this week. And I'm happy to answer any questions that the board might have.
Alrighty, before we go to questions, I want to just ask if there are any abutters anywhere on Zoom. Okay, no abutters. Now opening it up for questions. One question I'll just open up with, I see that municipal water is available on that street. Is it part of the plan to hook up to the municipal water, which would be wonderful?
I believe at this time they are sticking with their well, but they certainly can connect to the town system in the future if they decide to. And the existing well is over 100 feet from the proposed
Mhm.
upgrade.
Yeah, so no variances there, but.
Yep.
Okay, okay. Any?
I'm just confused today because there were some pages missing in my packet, so I was just looking, there was a butter notification, right? Because I don't,
This is
Not-
a review, Francine, so it wasn't
oh,
required.
this, okay, all right, that's why, thank you. So I just had my one silly, my one question was, if so this is protective, because you're right, their property is right on Great Pond. So it's, this system is gonna be protective of any runoff toward the pond, I'm assuming.
This system is one of the 2, last time I checked, that DEP came out with as being the best available nitrogen reducing systems. And so this is the one that Tim had proposed on the plan.
All right. Just bringing that up, just asking.
Yeah, no, there's been some, I guess, they're not so
So
innovative.
we
Yeah.
have had 2 other systems that have been proposed and approved that were right on the pond,
Yeah,
on a pond, that were phosphorus reducing. Laura, that's what she's
Yeah,
referring to. That I don't, those are right on the pond. A pond.
yeah.
okay. Yeah. No, those are great
Oh, yeah.
if people choose to put them in, so.
Mhm.
Lena,
No questions.
Any questions? All right,
So I guess I'll make a motion to approve the proposed plan as presented. With the following conditions: no increase in habitable or occupiable square footage without Board of Health review. Any changes or modifications to the approved plans require a Board of Health review. 3-bedroom deed restriction and use of IA technology using the Advantex AX23A with the Renco technology treatment to be recorded with the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds. Board of Health conditions to be noted on the deed. Secondary treatment and monitoring under general use approval conditions per DEP regulations, including quarterly effluent sampling or 2 times per year for seasonal use for total nitrogen BOD TSS, nitrate nitrogen not to exceed 19 milligrams per liter. Applicant to confirm if property will be utilized annually or seasonally prior to issuance of septic installation permit. Operation and maintenance agreement to be submitted to the Eastham Health Department and Barnstable County Health and Environment. Operation and maintenance contract required for the life of the system. Operator to report results to Barnstable County Health and Environment Database or directly to the Eastham Health Department if not available. Designer to verify proper operation of the system prior to the issuance of the certificate of compliance. Final inspection and startup inspections to be witnessed by the Eastham Health Department. Plan submitted for
That
review.
one's not applicable anymore, Francie.
What?
That one's not applicable anymore because we got the plan with the percolation results on it. And
Oh, so
ones.
we already reviewed them.
Yep, we've got them, so we can scratch that.
Okay, Board of Health approval valid until August 29th, 2025.
okay, I'll second that. All right. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Okay,
Do we know, by the way, if this is seasonal or year-round your use for their property?
I'm not sure. I have a feeling it might be year round. And you, I was actually gonna ask if we could have a 2-year approval on this one and the other project that I was presenting today, just because this is the first stop in the permitting process, and the time just seems to fly by, and by the time you get around to construction and applying for the permit to actually build the system, it seems like we're always pushing right up against that year approval.
what's your perspective from where you sit?
On our perspective, we don't want to ask contractors to come back, but it is a better, easier way for us to track these approvals. So that when we know that a permit has come through, we know the time has slowed down a little bit. There just needs to be a septic permit applied for within that year and work started on the system. And I've had other contractors be able to do it. I'm not in favor of it, again, because it's more work for Sam. But if you wanted to
Fair enough.
extend it for
Is there
these
any way
cases,
that we could ask for like a report, an update report to be submitted at the end of the year? And then we will.
like a status
A
report
status
of what the-
report of what's been done, and then that would remind everybody that this project is still ongoing. And we could kind of like recertify recertify a year.
I mean, I also
Extension?
think it's a way for the board to be able to assess if there have been any changes to what was already approved, because more often than not, a year goes by, the floor plan has changed a couple of times. There's a line that's gonna go in somewhere else because there was a second edition proposed.
Right, so if it's
And
2
it's an
years, we're going
opportunity
in
for the
after the
board that
fact.
if there are those changes had been made, it's an opportunity for the board to review it again. But again, that's your decision.
It's good input. Given that, I would propose that we keep it at the year and work with you as best we can, and I know Susan does do as best she can, so I'll just leave it at that. Elena?
Yeah, I mean, I think that also in fairness to everyone else that's come through here, the situation has happened before and it's sort of consistent with what we've done in the past.
I think there's an opportunity to review having the 1 year time frame. If there were more contractors that came forward and said it was an issue. How many in the last even 6 months have we seen that didn't meet the deadline to start work?
Yeah.
Maybe 2 have had to come back,
Yeah, just trying to think, yeah.
maybe 2.
Yeah,
But it would be it's an opportunity to talk about it in the future, sir.
So I guess we'll keep it the way it is.
keep it the way it is and commit to looking at the numbers and thinking
Yeah,
about it and
absolutely.
for the future. All right, so we're gonna I'll second it with the 1 year until August 29th, 2025. Everybody agreed, and thank you for your understanding.
I have your other plan. That's 10 numbers.
I told you I'm confused today.
No. This is why you have to stay paper, because I can count on you having the plans.
But I have them somewhere. No?
Yep.
Oh, because it was, yeah, there it is.
Stop. One. Next on the agenda was John O'Reilly, who is here, but Laura Schofield has requested going ahead to present her next case, as she has a meeting to get to.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that okay with John?
Yes, I just cleared it with him, Laura.
Okay, thank you, John. Okay. Good afternoon. For the record, Laura Schofield from Schofield Brothers. I'm here representing Chris and Deanna Carter at their 245 Nauset Light Beach Road property. Our proposed system incorporates an innovative alternative technology, so we're here for a review before the board. Right now, this property has an existing 3-bedroom dwelling on the site, which is right at the edge of the coastal bank. And we're hoping to take that structure down as soon as possible. A new dwelling is proposed that will be built farther back on the lot. And since I originally submitted this application to the board, they had a modular home that they were proposing for this site, and there were just a few modifications to that structure that have been proposed in the meantime. And I have a whole stack of revised plans for the board, which are sitting here next to me that I guess I can't hand out since I got turned around in traffic today. I do have them on my computer so I can share my screen if necessary, but they're pretty minor little changes.
Could you just go over them for us? So
Yeah, there was a shift in the location of the outdoor shower, so I just slid the septic tank over a little bit. And there's a proposed patio on the front of the house now. And that's pretty much it. But I
It's
just,
gonna stay the 1 bedroom, Laura.
yes, there's a So the Title V, the smallest system you can design for is 3 bedrooms, so that's what our design is for. This is really a 1-bedroom house that'll have the future capacity for them to add a couple of bedrooms in the basement someday if they want to. And there's windows proposed in that space. So, but they're not planning on doing that right now. This is just basically a 1-bedroom house. So the system will have an Advantex because it's an environmentally sensitive lot. This is a 32,000 square foot lot. A reserve area has been proposed. The reserve area is the closest system component to the bank, and that's 122 feet away. And the soil absorption system for the primary is 148 feet from the top of the coastal bank. We're reusing the same private water supply well that's on the lot today. And I think that's it, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
So I have a question, and this is just my question. So the 122 feet, so there's no variance because it's 100 feet that's required. How, and I know none of us can see into the future, but if we're losing approximately 5 feet a year, 4 years, 5 years, we're right against that system. Forget about the house. We're right against the system, which is our concern here. So, and I don't know, that's my worry, but I don't know what the rules are because we can't obviously make a decision on something that might happen in 5 years. But it's definitely in my head and a concern in terms of our responsibility to make sure that we are approving things that are the right for the community, for the environment, for our precious beaches.
Can I just go back 1 second? I'm gonna ask my same question again. I don't, did you ask it for butters?
No, because there's no.
Oh,
variance.
there's no,
Not a variance,
A
it's a
variance.
review.
there's no variance. Okay, so no butters. Okay, fine.
So
Because
I
I was wondering also, because this is a very odd piece of property that went around something that's part of the Cape Cod National Seashore, so they could move the house back. I'm not exactly sure. I read about, I mean, was this part of the original lot? How was this lot put together? I'm curious.
They
Have
were,
you gone to conservation yet, Laura?
no, before they need permits for the new house before the old house can be demolished. They were, not these owners, but the prior owners were able to add some property by purchasing it from the seashore, I believe. That's what happened. So that's why they have the ability to do this.
Yeah, so there was like a 0.17 or something addition. I tried to read up, but I don't know what to do with my concern is the honest question. I don't know if anybody has an answer, because standing here today, you're obviously in compliance. But this is an incredibly fragile seashore. You know, you take a walk on the beach and look at the house, you obviously know.
So we do have some properties that we watch for similar situation, like you're saying, you know, we're concerned that the leaching facility is going to fall into the ocean so there are some properties that we watch anyway. If the board was so inclined, they could add a condition to that effect that
So like
We
if
do
in
a sep-
2 years, there's a big storm and we're
yeah,
worried.
Yep.
And then what happens?
I don't know.
I
I think your
that-
concerns are valid though.
Yeah, it's, you know, if it was, I don't know, 15 years that we were talking about, maybe a little less, but the average is 4 to 7 feet a year, I think approximately that's being lost at that particular location. Anyway, that I am concerned about that. I'll just put that out there and I'll stop. Elaine, if you have, do you wanna? I'm sorry.
Sort of 2 minds. One is that this is the regulation we live under now. And, complying with that regulation is probably what we should be doing as a board that works with regulations. It may be something that we want to look at as a board in terms of how we deal with all the properties here, but unless we're dealing with all of them the same way, it seems kind of unfair to put special consideration on this.
I'll add that to your
Okay.
working list.
Hmm?
Okay? Does that sound good?
You're adding to our to-do list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's I mean, the rest of the proposal is obviously consistent with our regulations, so, I didn't have any other questions there.
Well, so right now they have this 1-bedroom modular building, you said? That
That's what's
was,
proposed.
That was, that was the basis for the design of the new house. So yes, it's a 1-bedroom house that's proposed.
so they're knocking down the 3-bedroom house and they're gonna have a 1-bedroom house.
Correct.
So when and if they decide to expand, I guess they would if we approve this plan, they wouldn't have to come back to the
No,
board.
they would have to,
They would
based
have,
on your previous approvals with conditions, if there's any changes to the property, they are triggered to come back for your review.
That's no increase in habitable or occupied square footage, yeah.
There wouldn't be any proposal to expand the footprint. It would just be to add habitable space in the form of a bedroom or two to the basement.
Right.
of the-
Right. But if
And,
that,
and their conditions generally state that any increase in habitable or occupiable square footage. So that would trigger a Board of Health review.
but we are approving a 3-bedroom dwelling.
That was a typo on my part,
Oh, okay. So what are we approving?
a 1-bedroom dwelling and a
A
3-bedroom septic design.
Oh, okay.
all right. So, any more questions, or discussion? Someone want to make a motion?
I recommend that the Board of Health approve the plans as presented with the following conditions. No increase in habitable or occupiable square footage without Board of Health review. Any changes or modifications to the approved plan require a Board of Health review. A 3-bedroom deed restriction and use of IA technology using Advantix AX20 technology treatment to be recorded with the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds. Board of Health conditions to be noted on the deed. Secondary treatment and monitoring under general use approval conditions per DEP regulations, including quarterly effluent sampling or 2 times a year for seasonal use. For total nitrogen, BOD, TSS, nitrate, nitrogen, not to exceed 19 milligrams per liter. Applicant to confirm if property will be utilized annually or seasonally prior to issuance of septic installation permit. Operation and maintenance agreement to be submitted to the Eastham Health Department and Barnstable County Health and Environment. Operations and maintenance contract required for the life of the system. Operator to report results to Barnstable County Health and Environment Database or directly to the Eastham Health Department if not available. Designer to verify proper operation of the system prior to the issuance of the certificate of compliance. Final inspection and startup inspections to be witnessed by the Eastham Health Department. Board of Health approval valid until August 29th, 2025.
So before, can I just insert before we second this motion? So it says the construction of a new one-bedroom dwelling, but it has a three-bedroom deed restriction.
Yeah, so you're just gonna change that from 3 to 1.
Yeah,
So this is
one
gonna be
bedroom deed.
a
One-bedroom deed
one-bedroom deed,
restriction.
the one-bedroom deed restriction will be recorded, correct?
Mhm.
Okay,
Why would it be a one
Because
bedroom?
that's what's being proposed right now is the 1-bedroom. We've received floor plans for 1-bedroom. It's not gonna be a 3-bedroom. Yes, you're designing a system for 3, but what's going on the property is only a 1. And that's why it triggers the Board of Health to re-review when they have plans to put those other 2 bedrooms in.
Well, I can see re-reviewing it.
You're not putting in a
If
3-bedroom
we're gonna-
house.
If we're gonna add habitable space, I can see reviewing it, but why the deed restriction for one?
Because that's what's gonna be existing, in my opinion.
Well, then can we say, it'll be limited to 1 bedroom unless the Board of Health approves?
Right, then at the time that it
How to
gets
word it.
re-reviewed, because the habitable space has been enlarged.
Comes back anyway.
At that time, a new condition will be issued for a 3-bedroom deed restriction, which supersedes the 1-bedroom previously. It's just stacked on top of each other.
Mm. I'm not an attorney, but I'm not.
Neither am I.
Either are we.
Well, can we have the option of reviewing the language on that before we record it and just maybe get a little bit of a legal opinion on how to word that?
okay, so do you want to continue this, this whole?
No,
request?
can we just do that between us and the Board of Health? Just to make sure we have the wording right on something that we're gonna record onto the title of the property.
My understanding is that a deed recording is a snapshot of time. That if that changes, the next deed restriction that goes on top of that is the most recent and most current and most up to date.
I just want to make sure of that before we go and record something that limits us to the 1 bedroom when we have a system for 3. That's all.
I'm not arguing that it's not a 3-bedroom system.
Right.
I don't have a problem with a deed restriction. I just want to make sure the language on it is okay with both parties.
I mean, they could also just have provided us with floor plans for 3 bedrooms now, instead of just a 1-bedroom floor plan. But they didn't. They chose to provide us with floor plans for 1-bedroom.
I don't see how we can approve a 3-bedroom deed restriction because we don't, just like Susan said,
Right,
we
we have a
don't,
1-bedroom.
we don't have,
That's. what was
this is not
submitted.
what we're being presented with.
And there certainly are been other times where people put in larger systems.
Right.
In anticipation of
Mm-hmm.
future building, which is, so that's not unusual either.
And their
the
deed
system is gonna be-
restriction, the system was bigger. But they were only proposing putting in the number of bedrooms they want right now.
Right.
Again, it will trigger a review when they want to increase the number of bedrooms for the septic design. And they have to come back to the Board of Health and they're issued a new deed restriction.
I think the fact that we've described the system here, when you come back, it won't have to be re-described because it is a system that can accommodate 3 bedrooms, and that's been
Right.
part of our action at this point.
I could add to the deed restriction template that it is a 3-bedroom design. Allowable 3-bedroom,
With,
however, what is proposed now is 1-bedroom.
okay, that's fine. And that with further Board of Health review, 2 future bedrooms may be added.
3-bedroom design flow allowable.
Okay.
That work for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't change the whole, if there's an increase in habitable space, you have to come back anyway, so.
Mhm.
So I could say 1-bedroom deed restriction with 3-bedroom design flow allowable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for the current deed restriction, which will change with the next approval. Okay. Was there a second? Did somebody second it?
I'll second it.
Cool.
All right, so now to vote. Francie?
Okay,
Yes.
Rita? And no. Oh. I said no, so it's still, it still passes.
It's
okay.
3-0 or 2-0?
2 yes, 1 no.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you. Sorry about the traffic. The gas
Yeah.
leak or something?
a gas
Yeah,
main
on the.
Gas.
broke was,
Gas main, yep.
Not good. You never know. It's gonna
You
come
just
up.
never know.
All right, so now. Wait, where are we going now to, we have to sign things, but then we're gonna go back to 145. I don't know how to say this, OQUAMOSHOD Road?
Ken Nickerson is here,
Nickerson is
Stephanie's
here.
here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, you come on up, John.
Okay, John's coming up. Do we have to sign things though?
Sun.
Sorry.
signing,
Which number item are we going to next?
10. Now I'm confused.
are these two?
Somebody do, what are
Okay,
you
these-
doing?
are
10
these
next
two
to 10?
copies?
The GIBNey.
No, no, this is one.
GIBNey
GIBNey,
residence.
145 OQUAMOSHOD Road. How do you say it?
OQUAMOSHOD.
OQUAMOSHOD. Thank you. I had my
I guess you
emphasis in the wrong
this,
place.
but you voted no?
Okay,
It's Elena.
well. Wow. Such rebellion. There you go.
Thank you.
OQUAMOSHOD. Okay, I can say it now. Um,
Don't
All
ask me
right.
to say it.
well, I want to be respectful. Okay,
Through the chair, my name is John O'Reilly. I'm representing Kevin and Patricia Gibney. They own a house at 145 OQUAMOSHOD Road. That's how I pronounce it. In Eastham, of course, and it is a 3-bedroom home. They are proposing to tear it down and build a 3-bedroom home with a detached garage that will have a bedroom above. So a total of 4 bedrooms. The lot size is 33,750 square feet, and in order to comply for the 4th bedroom, we are proposing a microfast 0.5 treatment, which is eligible under the general approval for the 4th bedroom. There are no other variances. There are no variances for the system. It's fully compliant. I did give you some nitrogen loading calculations that show the difference between a conventional 3 and a innovative 4.
Yeah.
And the house is currently served by a private well and will be connecting to the municipal water.
okay.
And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Right, thank you. All right. Got it. Okay, I don't think I have any questions. Nancy or Elena, do you?
I don't think I've had any questions on this one.
Um,
Well, I guess I had one little question. Was the well, they're connecting, I didn't, they're connecting,
There is a well on the site today.
yeah,
They are abandoning it and are connecting to the municipal water that runs in front of the property.
okay, so that was asking.
That was your question.
That
Okay,
was my question.
all right,
Right.
good.
Yeah, well, no objections from anybody here. I'll make a motion to approve the plan as presented with the following conditions. No increase in habitable or occupiable square footage without Board of Health review. Any changes or modifications to the approved plans require a Board of Health review. 4-bedroom deed restriction and use of IA technology using microfast 0.5 technology treatment to be recorded with the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds. Board of Health conditions to be noted on the deed. Secondary treatment and monitoring under general use approval conditions per DEP regulations, including quarterly effluent sampling or 2 times per year for seasonal use for total nitrogen BOD TSS, nitrate nitrogen not to exceed 19 milligrams per liter. Applicant to confirm if property will be utilized annually or seasonally prior to issuance of septic installation permit. Operation and maintenance agreement to be submitted to the Eastham Health Department and Barnstable County Health and Environment. Operation and maintenance contract required for the life of the system. Operator to report results to Barnstable County Health and Environment Database or directly to the Eastham Health Department if not available. Designer to verify proper operation of the system prior to the issuance of the certificate of compliance. Final inspections and startup inspections to be witnessed by the Eastham Health Department and Board of Health approval valid until August 29th, 2025.
Good. I second that.
Okay?
Right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Do you want,
Now we go back
do you
to
have
10
two?
Nickerson.
I have a copy or you
We'll
have
be
two?
fine all this.
You have two?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, this is mine then.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you. All right, 10 Nickerson Road.
Hi, good afternoon. Stephanie Sequin with Ryder and Wilcox. I'm representing the Harvey family. Beth Harvey and Chris Healy are the owners of the property at 10 Nickerson Road. Charlie Harvey is Beth's father and Chris Harvey is her brother. So this is sort of a family project. This is a 49,720 square foot property on the corner of Samoset Road and Nickerson Road. There's a wetland located just to the west and kind of northwest of the property. The 100-foot buffer to the wetland covers a little more than half of the westerly part of the property. On the east side of the property, there's an N-Star easement, which restricts the use of that portion of the property. There's currently a 2-bedroom dwelling located on the property. In 2015, there was a Title V upgrade. The existing system consists of a 1,000-gallon septic tank, a distribution box, and a plastic Cultec field drain leaching system. At that time, the system was upgraded in preparation for selling the property and for marketing purposes because the lot, which is more than 40,000 square feet, there was only a 2-bedroom home at the time. The leaching system was oversized to allow future expansion, and it has a capacity of 483 gallons per day. So it's actually big enough. It was designed to be big enough under the current regulations for 4 bedrooms. Beth and Chris bought the property shortly after that time. What's being proposed now is a detached garage, which is shown on the north part of the property. And above that garage on the second floor will be an ADU, which is intended to be for Chris to live in full-time. It will have 2 bedrooms. I included a set of floor plans of what's being proposed. We are proposing to replace the existing 1,000-gallon septic tank with a new microfast tank, which will house a microfast 0.5 to provide nitrogen reduction. We're also going to need, because of the longer run from the proposed building to the existing septic system, leaching system, we need to include a pump chamber, which will pump the effluent to the existing distribution box and into the existing soil absorption system. So we are first of all, requesting approval of the IA system because this is a nitrogen sensitive lot, an environmentally sensitive lot being adjacent to and partially covered by wetland. We're also requesting a variance to allow the existing leaching system to remain in use where it is only 90 feet from the wetland, where your regulations require 100 feet. The plant, when the system was upgraded back in 2013, and it was Ryder and Wilcox who did the plan. The wetland location we showed a little further off the property. So the plan for the system, when it was approved, permitted and installed, was in compliance. The system, the leaching system was 100 feet from what we had located at the, as the edge of wetland. With this project, because it was for new construction, there was a wetlands professional from independent environmental consultants who flagged the wetland, and his delineation is much more conservative than, so that's what was more than 100 feet away is now 90 feet away. So we are requesting a variance to allow that existing soil absorption system to remain.
Okay.
So to recap for all of you, the whole system as it's existing right now was designed and installed in 2013. That includes the existing leach area. They're proposing leaving the leach area, even though we now know that there's a variance created after the fact because of new information.
Mhm.
The other components are proposed new. So the IA system is new, the pump chamber is new, and an ADU is new.
Well, and since this is a variance, I can ask about abutters, although I don't see anybody.
We're notified.
Yes,
We got all
but
that.
just
Okay.
in case, I wanna, so you don't miss that. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Frank.
Well, I was just, that was my main question was, you know, that since it was there before, what happened, you know, was it a variance issued before, but now you just explained that there wasn't. It's just that the wetlands delineation was 10 feet
Changed.
different,
Right.
or maybe it
Data.
grew. Maybe the wetlands grew.
That happens. This
happens.
is a low flat wetland area with gently sloping topography, and that can as houses are developed, more runoff, et cetera, wetland lines can change. If you have something like a cranberry bog with an embankment, that's not going to change, horizontally.
Yeah, because
significantly.
also it's like, it's amidst all the ponds. It's right in the middle of all the, 4 ponds there, so that would make it more marshy, generally speaking.
Good, yes.
So I have a question. We have granted, so what would be the downside of losing 10 feet between the soil absorption system and the wetlands? What would our environmental danger be? Does anybody know? I mean, we have this regulation.
The closer it is, the more impact is creating on that wetland.
No,
That's why
I
you
know.
have a buffer.
That's right, but I guess 10 feet is pretty long,
And
suppose.
to be in compliance, you'd have to redo the entire,
Yes,
have to
yes,
move
we'd
it.
have to move it.
So if you approve the variance, just to give you an update, they meet maximum feasible compliance if you allow the variance. So it's not a question of they're not in compliance. If you approve the variance,
so they're
that
not
meet,
doing it.
you have decided they have met maximum feasible compliance.
But if you look at the site map, I mean, it could be moved and then they would be in compliance. I mean, I'm just saying it's possible.
Yeah, there would be a significant amount of disruption.
There would be.
To the lot that abuts a wetland, correct?
We couldn't get it, if it was a question of, oh, could we get it? Not just 100 feet, but maybe 150 feet or even more, maybe there would be more to gain to offset that expense, but the most we're going to, with that, the electric easement is preventing the leaching system from going any more than, another 10 feet. I think we'll be lucky to be able to get that 10 feet further away.
okay, so you really couldn't, because of the easement, you couldn't move the whole thing.
Right. I mean, we could ship the whole thing, but it's not, all we're going to gain is that 10 feet. It's not like we could gain 60 feet by, completely relocating it.
Yep. All right, and that was my only question too, is like, what, could you come into compliance and what the cost benefit of asking that to happen?
Well, and I
10
think
feet.
that's sort of what Francie asked.
Yes, that was
it's-
my question too. What's, yep. Elaine, do you have any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm so sorry if I've already asked you this, Stephanie, but was there a septic inspection done on the existing leach area?
Not yet, but that will be
Yeah, could,
to increase flow. That is a requirement.
yeah, so if we could add that as a condition, that there be a septic inspection, obviously not a full one, because everything else is going away, but
Right,
at least of the leach
leaching
area.
field,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
And I guess in terms of, I mean, so that's really, it's just not, I guess it's not doable if it just wouldn't make sense to shift it. Because as you said, you're not getting that much out of it. I mean, where would you shift it?
Towards the road layout, but as Stephanie said, there's that electrical easement.
Yeah, I mean, I know, since I go on the bike path there, I know that I can picture that electrical easement, yeah. Yeah, it's right,
Right there.
right along the,
They don't like leach areas going in there.
yeah.
Okay, and then in terms of the ADU, I guess this is all the ADU is being, I mean, all the procedures are being fulfilled. And I don't think that's not an issue since you're renting it year round or living there year round.
Is be occupied year round.
Hmm?
And I think the IA system will create a significant improvement. So
Yeah.
We didn't make any effort to stick with the standard system.
Right, I understand, I do, yeah.
Upgrade the system, the one that's gonna reduce the nitrogen.
Yeah.
So I think there's a positive there.
Yeah, there definitely is. So,
All right,
And again,
so
Stephanie,
what?
did you forward me the the perk data and the depot logs?
I think I did.
Okay,
I will double check.
okay, thank you, because that was again one of the conditions that we didn't have those, but if Stephanie says she forwarded them, I'm sure she did. And then just to reiterate, because it's gonna be an ADU, there are both protocols that have to be followed on the building permit side and on the health department side. That accessory dwelling unit has to be rented year round, and it has to have a rental certificate, a year-round rental certificate that triggers inspections by the health department.
What's involved with a rental certificate? If it's for, I mean, I don't know.
It's
if
just for the
it's
ADU.
Rented or.
I mean, he's an owner,
It
right?
that's part of the approved code that an ADU is approved under on a town level. It doesn't matter that it's family.
Okay.
It's an ADU and it has to follow the bylaws.
Okay.
So they will be triggered to do a rental certificate every year that they have this structure.
Okay.
So what were you adding into the conditions?
I was taking away number 8
Right.
because we got them.
Okay,
And it was already on there for the accessory dwelling unit for number 9. I was just
Yeah.
reiterating it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, sorry, adding the septic inspection. So I did add septic inspection of the leach
Of the
area.
leach area, of the
Mhm.
leach area. All right. I can do this one.
okay.
All right, I would like a motion to approve this proposal with the following conditions. No increase in habitable or occupiable square footage without Board of Health review and a butter notification. 4-bedroom deed restriction and use of IA technology using microfast treatment unit to be recorded with the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds. Board of Health conditions to be noted on the deed. Secondary treatment and monitoring under general use approval conditions per DEP regulations, including quarterly effluent sampling or 2 times a year for seasonal use for total nitrogen BOD TSS. Nitrogen not to exceed 19 milligrams per liter. Underground blower unit to be utilized as proposed. Care should be given to keep the unit as far away from abutting property lines as possible. Applicant to confirm if property will be utilized annually or seasonally prior to issuance of septic installation permit. Operation and maintenance agreement to be submitted to the Eastham Health Department and Barnstable County Health and Environment. Operation and maintenance contract required for the life of the system. Operator to report results to Barnstable County Health and Environment Database or directly to the Eastham Health Department if not available. Designer to verify proper operation of the system prior to issuance of the certificate of compliance. A septic inspection of the leach area to be conducted by the Eastham Department of Health.
Prior to
Much
the,
timeframe?
To be submitted to
Be
the
submitted.
Eastham Health Department.
To be submitted to the Eastham Department of Health. All accessory dwelling unit procedures to be followed, including but not limited to an affidavit as part of the building permit application and a year-round rental certificate to be filed with the Eastham Health Department. Board of Health approval is valid until August 29th, 2025.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
So the only other business that I had, as we discussed earlier, was we were gonna try and confirm a time that you want to hold your cesspool open forum.
And that's on the 10th. of
October
October.
10th. Hey, Stephanie, oh, Sam will get you. I'm sure you are. I'm sorry.
What? Do you have something else?
Yes, it's the 3rd this year. It's really early this year. Last year was really late.
I have an unexpected issue with the 10th.
Don't expect an issue with the 10th, though. So it could
She
be in
has
the
an
morning,
unex-
afternoon, like I
No,
said.
she
I've
said she
blocked
has
off
an
the-
Oh, I have an
Unexpected issue.
unexpected conflict with the 10th. Uh-oh, I know, uh-oh.
Come join us, Hillary.
I could maybe,
No,
yeah,
Oh, I was looking for a jacket that I
Oh.
left here Tuesday night.
help yourself.
come.
Come on in.
Come on in.
I don't see anything.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Nope.
Oh, there.
We did not send the letter out yet.
No, we didn't. So I could look at the calendar again and see
Sorry.
what we got.
I'm sorry.
We just will need to touch base with Harry
Yep.
and the Aqua Fund folks.
That's on this.
So do you want me to look at the calendar again, Hope? Do you wanna
If
give
you
me some different
can,
dates?
Did you sign
And-
this?
Yes.
Yeah, I
I think
did.
it is.
Yeah,
Right.
And the following week is no good for me. I'll be out of
The
town.
the
non-colored one too. Yeah.
maybe if we do it later in the day.
How, later in the day on the 10th? So like 2-ish, 3-ish?
Ish, maybe?
Okay, or are there other dates you want me to give you, go
I
and?
don't wanna make everybody crazy. Elena's out
There's
the
there's
next
no
week.
time
Oh,
frame
hold
yet.
on a
because we haven't
second.
Sent anything out.
When, the 10th is a Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't come at all. I work that day.
So it looks like we're back to the
Okay.
drawing board.
Save my butt, yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know
Thought we had
how,
already
how did we
confirmed
come up
the
with
date.
that?
Alright,
That's okay.
we,
Okay, how about I look at dates, what's available, because we have to also consider we're coming into voting season. So the room will be occupied for like early voting times and stuff like that. So I need to check the town calendar and I'll give you guys some dates. What days are not good?
For me, it has to be on a Monday or Tuesday, except, on the last week of the month when I have Board of Health meeting.
What is the last Thursday? When is the Thursday meeting in?
30,
September is the 26th.
Do we want to shoot for that? Cause that's a night when we generally have the board.
When?
It's such a
26th.
long meeting.
26th of September?
yeah,
It's fine.
works for me.
it's fine for me.
Maybe.
I still need to double check the room's not used before you guys come in at 3 o'clock, so would you want it like 2 to 3 would be the open forum?
Works for me.
Do that.
That work?
Okay, so
Let's try that.
9:26 and.
Sorry,
2,
thank
yeah.
you.
Okay,
Oh, that's a good thing. I
Yeah.
couldn't come to the meeting.
Work.
That works.
I will check it out and let you know.
Okay,
We do have a good presentation that Harry Swift has been working on for us. He's been analyzing our IA systems that are in the ground and he had some really good data
oh,
to
great.
present. It's fantastic. It's fantastic work. It's really exciting.
So is that gonna be at that meeting?
Mhm, mhm.
That's great.
That's great.
We have a small, it's a small PowerPoint with some slides of sampling data and sampling results of all of the systems in town, and Paul made us a map of where they are. So it's really quite good, actually.
Excellent, good, good, it'll be a good discussion. Good. Okay,
So we just have Sam's minutes for you to look at and approve?
Can I bring up something under other business?
Mhm.
I don't know if the board would be interested in having something presented to them regarding the health implications of having these thousand foot wind turbines off our coast. Given the incident that happened recently, which is not the only one, of the blade failure. And this blade has broken up into apparently 60 tons of removable debris. And the debris is toxic and it's breaks up into tiny, tiny pieces, and it has PFAS and other kinds of toxic foam that breaks down, and then it gets ingested and it gets into the food chain. And I don't know if, as a board, the Board of Health of our town, that we are going to be potentially impacted by events like this, would like to consider perhaps having something presented to the board with information with the eye of at least going on record and, writing official letters to, the people who are in charge of this, like the Bureau of Ocean and Energy Management and the Department of the Interior and whoever is in charge of doing this.
Who
Because
would be presenting to you?
I don't know, I mean, I have access to,
Yeah, is it a government agency? Is
I'm
it
talking
some-
about it just amongst, like we just at the Board of Health. I'm not saying have it, like a big public meeting that we would run. I'm just saying just to start off just with our board.
having a discussion or
Yeah, I
having
mean,
somebody talk
because
to you?
I didn't come presented with a list of, everything that could be potentially harmful to public health, but I feel that it is a potential public health issue.
So I don't know if any of you watched was it Nantucket? Or was it Martha's Vineyard? I can't remember right now, but
It's
it
Nantucket.
was Nantucket, and they had a public meeting with specialists from federal agencies and state agencies,
Yeah.
and I did watch that. There was a few employees from the state who came out to speak. One was in the shellfish arena, and I think one was maybe a representative of Mass DEP. I don't know if they'd be willing to come here and speak, or if they would maybe give some type of presentation through.
Well, there was a big meeting that was held,
Right, at the
hosted
Sheraton.
by
Sheraton,
yeah.
BOEM,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
was basically like a public relations thing for them. I
No,
mean,
that was an informational meeting about proposed additional wind turbines that actually was happening and it just so happened that
It was at
meeting
the
was
same time.
scheduled at the same time that catastrophe had happened. It was not a
It-
public relations regarding that event.
No, not that event,
Okay.
regarding this, the Gulf of Maine proposed, leasing of the
Yeah.
1,000,000 acres of the Gulf of Maine. And it just happened that this happened at the same time,
Correct.
and it's also happened it happened in Norway, it's happened in various places.
So shall we
That
add
and
that to
the
your
the
list?
other issue
do.
is would they put this, I mean, is the transmission lines where they're going to come on shore. There's lots of issues about that. People they're in Barnstable are having big issues about the transmission lines coming under their beaches and emitting electromagnetic radiation, which is like, there's a lot of unknowns. But I think that maybe it would behoove us as the Board of Health to just have an information session and maybe, think about if we do want to take some kind of action in terms of just letter writing. Because that's about all we can do at this
So
point.
my only thought is that it's information we should all have, absolutely. But it's beyond the Board of Health. It's so much, to me, it's bigger than the Board of Health. So if we were going to have an informational session, it should be beyond the Board of Health. That would be my gut. And the who would be an important part of this, is who's going to present what, since obviously there's different perspectives and we need to be as fair as we possibly can. I don't know. That would be my gut, but we can put it on our to-do
I was
list.
just gonna say, I've added it to the to-do
Our
list.
to-do list
and-
of things that we should be thinking about
Yeah,
in addition
yeah.
to.
Yes, I'm also
Ocean.
wondering, this is not just Eastham.
No.
Is this something that should be larger in our part of the Cape?
I mean,
like to
we
keep
are,
contact
but
or somebody could
we're,
that.
it's really the outer Cape that's gonna be most affected by. Well, the whole Cape is, the whole coast of the
Nantucket
United
and
States
Martha's
is
Vineyard,
is
yeah,
being
so, yeah.
affected by
yeah.
this, but I mean, I just think that, it's every. We are the Board of Health of our little area, so it's just our little voice, and little voices matter. That's
No,
kind
I
of
agree.
my thinking on this.
Voices matter.
Little voices
I
matter.
do agree. All right, it's on our to-do list. Added. Okay. Sam's minutes. Does anybody have comments? I didn't.
I did.
You did, of course you did, Francie, awesome.
I only, no, they're very small, if I could find them. They were, we could find where I put the minutes. My only little comments were, there were a lot places that should have been capitalized. I know they just call me crazy,
No,
like just for,
I'd rather know so that I can correct it.
if I could, when I put the minutes.
Do you have your like notes on that?
I
Francie,
do.
That you can give to
And
Sam?
I'll see, I
Yeah.
have them somewhere. I'll give them to you.
All right, so.
I mean,
Francie-
wording, there was nothing. There's just like capitalization issues.
So can we make a motion to accept the minutes with Francie's,
Capitalization issues.
improvements? Corrections, improvements, that's what I call it. Okay, we have a second. Are we in favor of that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, minutes accepted with Francie's corrections.
You can just have Hope sign it back, that last one, and then if there's anything, you just correct him on that part.
Look, I just put little, Sam, I just put little, it's like community development department, strategic planning committee.
Okay.
And like there's, where it says Board of Health, certificate of compliance. I think these are things we capitalize.
Gotcha. Okay. I will go back and correct.
All right, I'm sure you can see what they are when you go through it. You can
Yes.
take that.
So I will take this and then I'm assuming there were no corrections on the last page. That was just the last page. of
So we
the-
can sign it.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
we'll sign it.
It's like, just wait, it gets better. I got better news for you soon, Eddie. Better, I'm sure not.
All right. So, and before we, think about adjourning, Holly, did you have anything you wanted to?
No,
Add.
I'm sure Susie reported on the flu clinic, which
Mhm.
we've got that scheduled, so that's exciting. We have the public health needs assessment report in draft form. Hope I did share that with you. It's not yet ready for dissemination, but it's coming very soon.
Excellent.
We have some data coming from the opioid programs that are running, so we'll present that probably around the winter, the 1 year mark from when they've been running.
Great.
We've got a couple of grants for food for the community fridge, one from Albertsons Market, one from Eversource, so that's good. We've been supplied with food from Food for Kids all summer, which has been really successful.
Glowing success.
So that's exciting. And I think that may be all.
Yep.
The high points.
Okay. And I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't say we're continuing to work on the strategic plan that Paul did the presentation on to the board, and so it's evolving, and there's going to be, I think, a community forum Tuesday at the library, maybe.
Ooh,
I haven't seen, is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Hang on.
I don't know, cause Paul was gonna set a meeting up with Michelle. And I didn't know who Michelle was. You.
Oh, she's on the
That's what he
strategic
said.
planning committee.
Michelle is, but I thought you and Hope were gonna be talking about the health one, so I'm not sure where we
Yeah,
landed.
I think I don't know, but I think he was just gonna do kind of a high level
Yeah,
overview of the
perfect.
library thing, and I think it's on the 4th, on Wednesday. So that continues, and some version of the plan will come back to all of us when it's better baked. It's not there yet.
Okay. Is everybody good?
I just want to ask one thing from the minutes, Susan, like, because one of these existing, which one was this? Nights, what was number 2? The case of number 2
Last month or this month?
last month, existing floor plans of house must reflect the 3-bedroom design and show the septic is designed for 4 possible bedrooms. I was just wondering if you get these things. When we have them, when we have these as our conditions.
Yeah, we check all of
You
that
check them all.
off before a certificate of compliance is issued.
Okay.
And even before the.
And
septic
even
permit gets
before,
issued,
yeah.
We review the letters with.
We actually had a conversation about the system and everything.
Oh, yeah, we just talked about that one today,
Yeah.
So are we done?
because they don't match.
You're done, Nancy.
Am I done?
Is
Do I
Nancy
make a
done?
movement to adjourn?
Yes, you
I
may. I'll
make a
second
movement to
that.
adjourn.
I'll second it. All in
Renee,
favor?